Welcome back to Not Coming Soon. We will be bringing you today part 3 of Red Oak for the Foyer, which I challenge you to find any movie with a better title. Are you not intrigued by Red Oak for the Foyer? What could that possibly mean? We're going to find out. We're really excited. We're going to wrap this one up for you, and then we're going to have a whole new story for you starting next time. Who knows when that will be.
Exactly.
But for this right now, for those of you living in this moment, I'm Ryan Myers.
And I am Jeff Myers.
He's Jeff Myers, and we are stoked to have you today. We start every episode off with what we're watching. So, Jeffrey, what have you been watching?
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I have finished this season of What We Do in the Shadows. Are you fully caught up?
I am also caught up last night.
Ah,
yep.
Very nice. And thoughts?
Night before. What a show.
What
a show. I love their ability to return to the status quo after seeing how much can be changed. Because especially when I saw the title of the last episode, which is Exit Interview, I'm like, don't do this. Don't end it right here. I saw the writing on the wall, and I'm like, please don't. And then they're like, no, screw it.
Yeah, back to square one.
Back to square one, baby. Awesome.
I loved it. A question though. First of all, do you want to talk about the Remy of it all?
Oh, lost it. I lost it. The previous evening. Oh no. Yeah. The previous evening, Emily and I watched 80 for Brady. A lot funnier than you would think. It's not. It's funny.
Okay.
There's some good chuckles in there.
But
Patton Oswalt is in that as well. So then, the next night, watching What We Do in the Shadows, I'm like, oh, Remy, yes! I was like still talking about, oh my god, it's Remy! And Emily was like, wait, I think he's got, and he's like, I was in Ratatouille, and I'm like, I lost my mind. Absolutely lost my mind. Incredible. R.I.P. Patton Oswalt.
Amazing.
Amazing. The range of Disney content coming together. Absolutely incredible. The Remy of it all. Panera Bread. Panera Bread as well.
Yeah, big moves on Panera Bread.
Huge. St. Louis Bread Company? I think so.
The last 2 episodes I feel like are a real nice 1-2 punch for What We Do in the Shadows, the season finale there.
Yes.
Now, the one thing that I do want to discuss with you is what are your theories on the killing of the vampire that turned you into a vampire at all? Do you think that because Guillermo is still in his human lifespan, that the killing of Derek, who turned him into a vampire, just turned him back into a human, no change? So do you think that would happen to all of the other vampires if the Baron was to be killed? Do you think Nandor, Naja, and Laszlo would turn into humans at their current state? Or do you think they would just crumble in the dust because they're so old?
See, that's a great question. When they are talking about the Baron potentially dying,
right?
They say aren't they saying that they would die as well?
Mm-hmm.
So I think all the years catch up with you, and
that
since it's only been a couple months since Guillermo was turned, it's not much of a change.
Makes sense.
That's exactly what happens. That's why he grows the beard. That's exactly what. Oh my gosh! Wow. That makes sense now. I'm like, why does he have a beard?
I too was curious about the beard.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
They're thinking overtime.
That's exactly what happens. That's incredible. So yes, for all you people unsure,
we solved it.
We solved it. If a vampire that bit another vampire dies, all the years since the turning of the said second vampire catch up to them, or all the time. Is that like written in stone out there? Like, where are all these rules? Because when they said the thing about the Baron, I'm like, no one's mentioned that before. And then it's a pivotal part of...
I apologize. I beg to differ. They've talked about that quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
they're always scared. Out? They're always scared that the Baron dying would kill them. Because there's points where it would be convenient for them to kill the Baron, who was going to rat on them or be like...
Yeah.
And
they were going to in like the first season. They were going to kill him.
Yeah, and then I think they were like, no, we can't because that would kill us. And then they were really scared when Guillermo burnt him to a crisp and they buried him. Then they were curious as to why they weren't dead as well. So they were like,
I got to rewatch it. It's been a while.
Got to get in there. Get another.
Yeah, I definitely have to. Yeah. Mm.
But yes, they have always mentioned the part about we would die if the Baron died.
Okay, that's my bad. Apologies. I have this really bad thing about not rewatching when new seasons come out. I did the same thing with Succession.
I really like it. I really like doing a full rewatch into the new season.
Yeah,
time permitting.
Exactly. That's why I feel like I haven't been good about that, and then I'm out on stuff like that where I just don't recall. The same thing with Succession. There was references I don't think I fully understood because it'd been so long since I watched the previous season. Well, anyway, the second to last episode or the last episode? It's the second to last episode where they're lured to the mansion, and
I think that is the second
by the guide.
Episode. Yeah.
That episode is kind of loosely based, it seems, on Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, which is partially why you saw Colin Robinson with the goatee, even though Hercule Poirot, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's not in that story.
He's not in that story, but I think that was the reference. But anyway, I had finished reading that book like 2-3 days prior.
Unreal.
Insane. Unreal. What are the odds? But I was very delighted to see that kind of forming, and then they kept saying, and then like a different number that was like out of order. It's a lot of fun. Very delighted by that. Also intrigued by The Haunting in Venice, which is a different Agatha Christie book, not titled A Haunting in Venice. It is titled Halloween Party, HALLOWE''EN. I don't know if it's a British or I don't know what it is. So I guess they just didn't want to title it that, but that Haunting in Venice is based on that book. Also Agatha Christie. Also Kenneth Branagh coming back as Hercule Poirot. However, I apologize to everybody for the pronunciation of that. Excited for that. Venice also gets us to talk about, there was a Venice Film Festival recently, and here to talk about that is Jeff.
Oh man, so many great premieres. It's a really weird time because there are a lot of actors and writers who are not able to properly promote their films to their fullest extent. So there was a lack of press interviews and stuff that's coming out of there. There were a few studios that have received exemptions, like Neon, who produced the Ferrari movie with Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari. He just really likes to do bad Italian accents, I guess, is just it's what he wants to do as an actor.
Hear me out. His name is Driver.
Boo! He just likes to be in the driver's seat.
Nice. Classic.
Yeah, lots of really cool movies for the next 6 months premiered. Who knows when they'll actually come out, right? Because they keep pushing film dates. But the big ones out of there were The Killer, David Fincher, which I'm psyched out of my mind about. It's so exacting.
Yes.
Yeah. I am a big fan of the works of David Fincher. They are very exacting, and they feel crisper in a way that is unlike other movies to me. I mean, like I don't know what there's something tactile about them that I like more than the average director. But
for the people out there, do you want to talk about your favorites?
Oh, my favorites. There's one of them.
Oh yeah.
I got that guy. Well, I mean, it's crazy. The crazy thing is that he's so exacting and so thorough that he's only done like 9 movies.
That's true. Some of the greats. It's the way to do it.
Yeah, like Fight Club, Seven, Panic Room, The Game, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Social Network, Mank.
Yeah.
Gone Girl.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Mank. No, I have. No,
it's
I don't think I have.
It's black and white with Gary Oldman. It's like it's like
I've seen that. Is it Red Scare in Hollywood Times?
Yeah, but it's also the main focus is Gary Oldman is writing Citizen Kane with
yes, that's right.
Orson Welles. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I have seen that. Been a while though.
That one's not one of my favorites. Yeah, I mean it's very different from everything else that he does.
He likes to throw curveballs at you.
Yeah, and the weird part is that it tries to do things to the film, like the actual it's not. Oh. It's shot It's shot digitally. Like he was very early on shooting digitally and in like ridiculous resolution. But he does things to try to make it look old that make it look really artificial. That I do like it fights against what I was talking about before, like the tactile nature of some of the stuff. Like everything feels so detailed and strong, and then he tries to soften it, but it looks fake, which I don't like in Mank.
Okay,
but yeah, The Killer, Michael Fassbender, Netflix film, so it'll probably come out this year. Maestro with Bradley Cooper, directed and starring. Maestro.
Big music guy.
About the life of Leonard Bernstein. So we'll see what happens there. I don't know too much about it, and it seems like it was like the reception has been fine, not bad, not huge. What else is it? Poor Things with Emma Stone. It's like a female Frankenstein. I'm really intrigued by that. We'll see. A lot of these I want to know as little as possible about them before going in. So I just kind of get a vague reception gauge, and then I bounce out. The Killer is sick. It looks sick.
I don't think I've actually seen a trailer for The Killer.
Have
you seen it, or are you just?
I did watch
clips.
I did watch the trailer.
You did watch the trailer.
Fassbender's so intense, but that's Venice. There's a lot of other movies.
Venice.
You know, I think it's pretty diverse, like foreign films and stuff like that. And I think even more so this year because of all that's going on with the release dates shuffling and them not being able to promote their movies and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens.
Have you ever been to a film festival of any kind?
No, but I love to go to a film festival. It seems like you could just walk around and watch movies.
Right. I'm assuming, like multiple theaters and like.
Yeah, I believe there are multiple theaters. Like there's probably like out of most film festivals, there's probably like larger venues for like premieres, and then or like splashier premieres,
right,
and then just various other cinemas that you can take in some viewings as well. So I don't know.
Sounds like a good time.
I'd love to go one day. This seemed like a very weird one to go to with the industry where it is. And we can keep talking about that.
Yeah, is any...
I have heard zero.
I don't...
At a certain point... Well, Warner Brothers Discovery said that they were going to take like a $200 million hit.
Like from
revenue hit. Like from not having...
Yeah,
I guess from not having stuff coming out. I don't know where that all comes from. I would have thought that Dune Part 2 would make more than that. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering how they're calculating $200 million.
Well, yeah, I wonder if it's just a power play in being a sympathy plea. Guys, we're losing so much money, but I feel like that puts them in a not a great negotiating tactic for.
Yeah, I think it puts them at a not a great negotiating tactic, especially because from what I've seen, the asks that the union is coming to them with would cost less than that. So
I would imagine
if you're losing that much money, why are you not agreeing to this less money? So we'll see.
I had this thought. I'm curious for your thoughts.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big bad studios can do a lot more to help there's a lot of people in the Screen Actors Guild that you're like, oh, actors, oh come on, you make money. There's people in there that are struggling big time.
From what I've seen, stars who don't have to work besides act make up like 2%.
Oh, it's tiny.
2% of SAG.
I think it was so the big issue is that if you don't make $26,000 a year, you don't get health benefits. Dule Hill said that's 80% of the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that's the issue. But I had this thought that obviously the studios can do more to be better about that, protect the people in that stance. But I'm also wondering if those people that make up that 2% that make just tons of money.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some, because that's I'm not egregious because they're helping. I mean, obviously they pull in people to go watch movies.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's a little bit of help there as well, if they could subsidize part for the others.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a weird like argument and a weird like place, because you look at the protests and all the videos and the press that's coming out of the protests are of recognizable figures who are not struggling financially and will never struggle financially. But they are advocating for people who are. But the pot of money that is going to those stars, it's the same. Theoretically, it's the same pot of money that would be going to the struggling actors. So
yeah, exactly. I wonder how they feel about seeing them on the picket lines. They're like, "Fuck you."
Like there's probably an element of solidarity, and it's like a weird like just I guess market driven thing where you are personally shooting for the most amount of money that they will give you to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you have people who negotiate on your behalf for that. But then you have the crew and the cast and the writers that you're going to be working with, that you're theoretically taking money from the pot that could be could go to
right.
Yeah,
that's how I see it as well. Like, yes, the studios have a lot of money, and a lot of that money goes to, like, if you look at the salary on a movie, like there's gonna be a huge disparity there. And I'm wondering if evening out that disparity is part of the problem.
Yeah,
and I'm curious to hear. I would imagine the studios are getting that point. Maybe if I was them,
but I think that becomes dangerous for them to make, because then you talk about the business functions, like the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. Even though the company has lost significant amount of money, their stock price is not going in the direction that you would want it to go as a shareholder. He's making hundreds of $millions. So like that's also part of it, where you're thinking there needs to be some sort of reconditioning around who makes how much money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the reason that it's taking so long is because this is more structural than just, hey, we don't want AI to take our job.
Yeah, another wild part about this negotiation.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating as a fan knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
The absolute desert of content we're about to get.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
It's gonna suck, and the longer this goes on, the longer that desert is. I mean, that's partially why they're moving these dates out, right? So they can trickle things, so it's not just release everything we can and then nothing.
So I think there's that, and then there's also they want celebrities to be able to promote the movies that they're in. They need to be able to do the red carpets. They need to be able to do the press junkets and all of that.
Because the stars that were in Haunted Mansion didn't go to the premiere. How sad is that? They did do some before the strike officially occurred. They did some stuff at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been unbelievable. Can you imagine? You're there for that? Oh, unbelievable.
Did you see the clip where Owen Wilson is like, I think people are surprised I'm not a talking car.
Yeah. So it's an unfortunate situation. It's a frustrating situation, but hang in there. You have this. And this is going to keep coming out.
Qualify the last 10 minutes. We have no idea what we're talking about. So
literally none. Actually, we are not in. I mean, you can't even say we're in the industry because we don't get paid to do this. Which you should definitely start paying us because our setups are buns, man. But yes, no, please. If you're like, these guys don't know what I'm talking about, you're absolutely correct.
Yep.
These are opinions of unqualified people.
Yeah, if you turn this off because we were talking out of our butts, then
please come back, listen to this part, and then you can turn it off again.
Yeah, so completely unqualified and uninformed opinion. Just complete speculation on our part. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's right. But when has that stopped anybody these days, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what podcasts are.
That's exactly what podcasts are.
So I think that might be enough to industry talk.
Definitely enough. Maybe too much.
Should we jump into something that's not coming soon?
I think we should definitely do that.
Sweet.
Given that nothing's coming soon.
It's true.
Potentially,
except the killer.
At this point, except the killer. Let's go. Go to the killer. At this point, this is coming just as soon as pretty much anything else, other than the killer, obviously. So
it's true.
We have that going for us. Red Oak for the Foyer. Wow. Also, I feel confident in saying a lot of people out there have not actually attempted to type or spell the word Foyer. It's not what you would think.
Oh, did that surprise you when the file came over?
No, I had typed it, and I had typed it at a different point where I was like, oh, hint, there's a Y in there.
Americans might pronounce it Foyer.
That's true.
Yeah.
But Foyer sounds so much cooler.
And so much funnier. And that's what we're going for here.
So much funnier. Significantly funnier. Yes.
So
you want to give the people
I'll give a quick recap of what we've talked about so far. So this is part 3 of our 3-part series on Red Oak for the Foyer.
Okay,
so Red Oak for the Foyer follows a contractor who is at odds with his wood guy, who keeps ordering the wrong wood for the foyer.
Dang it! Don't you hate it when that happens?
I hate it when that happens. So he spends the morning yelling at his wood guy for ordering the wrong wood for the foyer, and then goes out, runs a few errands, takes care of some stuff. He's walking around the park carrying some blueprints, and he's screaming at his wood guy yet again on the phone. No, I said Red Oak for the foyer. And then suddenly, a bag is thrown over his head and he is shoved into a car. Fade to black. 24 hours earlier, we are caught in a spy caper.
Yeah.
The bag is removed from our spy's head. She makes a daring escape and then meets up with her team and talks about what they need to, the next step in their mission. And they need to make a transaction with a shady individual, and
Yep.
they have organized a meet in the park with this shady individual, and they are given the go phrase of red oak for the foyer. They're going to make the swap for some plans.
I freaking love it. It's awesome.
So our spy sees our contractor get a bag thrown over his head, shoved into a car. She's in pursuit. Hot pursuit. And whilst in the car, a transaction is made because the shady individual is expecting a roll of plans that resemble something that our contractor is carrying.
Yep.
Gives him a suitcase full of $6 million, sends him on his merry way.
Heck yeah.
Our spy catches up with our contractor and tells him it's not going to look too pretty for him when our shady individual realizes that he's made a trade for a significant amount of money for basically suburban houseplants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at.
Sticky wicket.
That's where we're at. So today, I think that we can flesh out the back half of the movie, just kind of directionally where we want things to go, and we can do some casting. Yeah. We've already done a little bit of casting. We put Rob Delaney in as our contractor, but other than that, we haven't done too much in the way of casting there. So what do you want to talk about casting first, or do you want to flesh out a little bit more of the storyline?
Let's flesh out a little bit more of the storyline and see kind of if we can get to some. We don't have to move mountains, but just kind of where we want it to kind of resolve.
Yep.
How we want it to resolve.
Yep.
Because I feel like there's got to be something that keeps the actual spy interested, because kind of from her point of view, she can just like take the money and go, maybe, and then kind of just leave this guy to fend for himself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she initially has to have something that is like, okay, well, I'm involved as well.
Okay.
Because at this point, they don't know who she is.
Perhaps we establish some backstory that she has lost an asset in the field in the past.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay.
And this quirky fish out of water contractor is just, or maybe resembles said asset,
and that can
she can't let it happen again.
That can be a point of contention with her team.
Yeah.
Where her team is like, let's ditch this guy. We don't need him. He's just dead weight, and she has flashback moments and has to rally the troops and make sure that they continue to protect this guy. Okay.
Very nice. Okay.
So
cool.
that's
She's dug in now.
Yeah. Okay. So in the aftermath of him being picked up by the spy and joining that team, what direction do we want to go? Do we want to have them pursue the shady individual? Do we want to have the spy know where they're going, where the criminal was going to go to next after they received the plans?
I think hear me out here.
Yeah.
The contractor and the spy intercepts the contractor.
Yep.
Brings him back to the team, and they all collectively decide to just send him out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we follow the contractor, and then he gets into trouble. Like the bad people find him, and miraculously, the spy has actually been tailing him, unbeknownst to her team, and saves him, and then kind of wrangles her team back in.
I like it. So they take him back to their headquarters or safe house or whatever, and they're like, it is pointless for us to keep this guy around. They send him out on the streets, and he's picked up by the criminal's thugs,
or almost. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's picked up, and yes,
by the criminal's thugs, and our main spy,
Did you get my ref? Did you get
Was that a Joker mouth move?
Yes, it was. Yeah. We're not intimidated by thugs. Anyway, yes, thank you.
Picked him up by the criminals thugs.
Yes.
He's rescued by the spy, who then brings him back to the safe house, saying, "We have to protect this guy. He was picked up immediately, and that his blood is on our hands if we don't we don't figure this situation out and pursue this to the end." So maybe this was just part of a long plan that the spy team had concocted to catch this criminal in the act of doing something, and they have to facilitate. How about this? They have to go in, and this is a mid-movie heist. They have to go in and they have to reverse heist and sneak the real plans in where the contractor's plans had been given to the criminal. So they follow the criminal back to the lair or penthouse or whatever, and they break in and switch the plans back so that they are the correct. They have the correct guides or map or whatever, and then the criminal continues his criminal pursuits. And then what is that ultimate heist or caper?
Okay, this may go out there.
Give it to me.
Hear me out.
Give it to me.
So the spy and the team's overall plan is to do this swap, give the mid-level people the whatever these plans are, who are then going to be taken to the bad guy, and the spy team's plan is to take out the bad guy who's up here. And they can't do that without the actual plans being given to them. And then here's where it gets a little crazy.
Okay.
So feel free to shoot this one down. So we're getting flashbacks of the lost asset.
Yeah.
The whole movie. The big bad guy. It's the lost asset. Too much? I don't.
Let's go. Bingo. That's a bingo. I love that. We're getting flashbacks of this, and there is an unknown entity who is at the top of this criminal organization that they are trying to take down, and they've crafted this full plan to expose the big bad. And when he is ultimately exposed, it turns out it was this asset that our spy thought she had lost, but in fact it was part of his plan.
Emotions.
Oh man.
Emotions.
Sick.
Incredible.
Sick.
All right.
So we have the introduction to the contractor. We have his journey to being kidnapped, or abducted. And then we flash back to the spy and establish the backstory of having lost an asset in the field before, and then and then we flash back further than 24 hours, and we show the asset getting lost, like the tail end of a mission where the asset is lost, and she is haunted by this, and concocts this plan to expose the leader of this criminal organization. And then and then she meets up with our contractor, and then they have to perform some elaborate reverse heist and return the correct plans to the criminal to allow for this longer term plan to fully flesh out. And then after that, they follow the criminal, or the lower level criminal, into whatever the next step of that plan is. Do we say that's another heist of some sort, or do we say that is some what do you think the MacGuffin of this thing is?
I think we gotta make the eventual meeting of the big bad guy, as complicated as possible. So make it a heisty type, Steven Soderbergh Ocean's type complexity to distract you from, because if it's they get in easy and stuff like that, you might be wondering like the MacGuffin point of this is who is that big bad guy, because we should know who it is. Don't make too big a deal about that and hit them at the end.
Yes, big time.
Yeah. With it being completely out of the blue, because you're focused on this other thing that you think is going really well.
Yeah.
And then the realization really throws our spy out of it. And potentially plan goes awry. Maybe we have to regroup. And maybe the carpenter has to go back and save the spy who was caught in the caper. Yes.
I like it.
Red Oak Foyer. I think that's great.
I think that's great. I think that, I think that is a great place to end our discussion there. I feel really great about the concept and the kind of arc that we have it set on, and it's not coming soon, but we'll flesh it out, and that'll be one of our early projects.
It probably will be, yeah, because that was probably our most complex plot that we've created.
I would say so.
Yeah,
it's got layers. It's
got tons of layers. Big old onion. So that's really exciting. I'm sorry it's not coming soon. It'd come a lot faster if you guys start watching, so we can make some money, so I don't have to go to work every freaking day. Food for thought for you.
Food for thought.
Make it happen.
Well, do you have a connection for me?
Yeah, I got a connection for you. I want you to connect Kevin Kline.
Okay.
To Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Kevin Kline to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kevin Kline to Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what we're saying?
Kevin Kline to Arnold Schwarzenegger, yep. I watched Road to El Dorado last night. Kevin Kline plays Tulio.
What the heck is Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why am I... Kevin Kline is in A Fish Called Wanda with Jamie Lee Curtis, who's in True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah! Nice.
I was like trying to do weird things to get to Jamie Lee Curtis, and I knew those two things, and they were not connecting in my mind. I was like, what is Will Smith in with Jamie Lee Curtis? How can I get from Wild Wild West to
yes,
to True Lies? How could I do this?
Another Kevin Kline, Kenneth Branagh, Wild Wild West.
Who's Kenneth Branagh's in that? I'm very unfamiliar. I only know Will Smith and Kevin Kline. He's
Loveless, the like crazy dude, the bad guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really very unfamiliar with the film. I just knew the two.
Dude, it was on
FX movies.
Yeah, it was at FX like all the time.
I feel like it was either FX or like TNT.
That's gotta be him. Okay, yeah. Dr. Loveless, who looks a bit like Laszlo. Yes, very good, thank you.
The whole bit where he's just like, he looks.
This guy.
They think he's like super moody and upset, and he's just trying to figure out how to reorganize his library. If you're not on What We Do in the Shadows, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, get on it.
Well, this has been lovely.
It has been lovely.
I've very much enjoyed our discussion of Red Oak for the Foyer. It has come to a conclusion, and it will not be coming soon. So
No.
don't anticipate that coming to theaters anytime. I have been Jeff this episode.
I've been Ryan. If we don't trademark these, anyone can just take them, right?
No, I think that there is some sort of copyright that is just inherent to putting an idea out into the ether.
Yes.
But
okay, so I'm ready to sue anything that appears to
Art
kind of seem like
is-
Red Oak for the Foyer.
art is a fluid medium that if somebody wants to make the movie, make the movie. I'm not going to big fat liar sue you, I swear.
Okay, I might not sue you, but I mean, all we want is a credit. Just original concept. I don't even know. You just put whatever. The Myers Bros. Pre-production pictures, I believe.
Is our
studio.
That's our studio. I think it's time to go.
It's definitely time to go.
And I really hope, and we both hope, that you get to where you're going.
Oh, yes.
Genuinely, sincerely, lovingly, we hope you get to where you're going.
Where you're going.
Signing off.
It'd be great. Until next time, patches over there.
Patches.